All right, guys, if you live in House District 66, this is the Oxford, Michigan area, you need to know about the two candidates on your November ballot for the Michigan State House. This is very important. Whether or not the Democrats retain a trifecta in Lansing or maybe a chamber flips here is up to the voters of Michigan. And we're going to highlight a couple of candidates again for the State House. I'm Ben Dorr, Executive Director for the Michigan Firearms Association, and I'm just going to give you a little bit of information about both candidates. Let's jump right in. All I ask is that when you get this information, bring your friends, your family, everybody you know, bring them to the polls, vote pro-gun, vote in favor of your Second Amendment rights. All right, we're going to kick this off. First one of these fine people we want to highlight is current state representative Josh Schriver. Now, if you know Josh, you know that he is a staunch supporter of freedom, quite frankly. He's very conservative, believes very strongly in the rights of the individual. But first thing I should tell you about Josh is that he did fill out his Michigan Firearms Association candidate questionnaire 100% in favor of the Second Amendment. That's very good. But it's one thing to say you're pro-gun. It's another thing to be pro-gun. And that is what Josh has proven himself to be at the Capitol. He has a 100% pro-gun, pro-Second Amendment rights voting record. He voted no on red flag gun confiscation laws. Now, a whole bunch of Republicans, at least, a whole bunch is maybe a little bit of exaggeration, several Republicans joined the ranks of the Democrats and voted for that gun control against the wishes of the voters in their districts. They voted yes on it. Josh Schriver was not one of them. He was a no vote. He voted no on gun registration. We know that these laws do not stop crime. This was nothing more than a getcha vote in the pocket of Governor Gretchen Whitmer. That's what it was. She was hoping to be a VP pick. She was hoping to be on a national ticket somewhere, and she was trying to get that little check mark of gun control in her pocket for that race. Josh Schriver said, no, not voting for that crap. He voted no on gun lockups, forced gun lockups. All three of those laws became, or all three of those bills rather became law eventually. But Josh Schriver fought tooth and nail to stop them. Why? Because he knows that the way you stop crime, the way you stop criminals from doing bad things is not by ramming through gun control that is not followed by criminals. It is not obeyed by the law breakers. It's obeyed by law followers. And nowhere in America where these laws have been on the books does crime go down. Instead, tyranny abounds, guns get taken away, lists get built by government, and criminals continue to commit crimes. So Josh Schriver did not cave to the pressure. He understands the rights of the individual. He stood up for those freedoms. And we know that the way you stop bad guys with guns is good guys with guns. And Josh understands that too. And that's why Representative Schriver is a 2A champion. And that is why he has earned himself an A rating with the Michigan Firearms Association. So if you see Josh out on the campaign trail, be sure to thank him for his stance and go out and vote pro-gun on November 5. Now, we're going to move on to Shawn Almeranti-Crosby. The first thing you should know about Shawn is that she refused to fill out her Michigan Firearms Association candidate questionnaire. But we're not surprised by that. Candidates who intend to vote against our Second Amendment rights often refuse to go on record because they don't want to be held accountable for what they say or what they do. And that's why Shawn would be an absolute yes vote on the AR-15 ban. This is the next piece of legislation on the docket for the radical left in Lansing if they can expand their majorities. Gretchen Whitmer already said she'd vote yes on this. And the left, they call it an assault weapons ban. It's not. It's a ban on hundreds of different commonly owned rifles, hunting rifles that people all across the state and tens of millions of Americans use all over the place. So, but she'd be a yes vote on this. Absolutely, she'd be a yes vote. The next big thing on the docket, and it's becoming way more popular in deep blue states. So Illinois is pushing this law right now. Washington State is pushing this legislation. New York already passed it some time ago. I think it's being challenged in court. It's ammo registration. They want to make it so when you go to your local Walmart or you go down to your local gun store and you pick up a box of 22 shells or you pick up a box of birdshot or something, want to do some skeet shooting, you have to fill out a government form that is given to Dana Nessel telling her what ammo you bought where, so that the government gets to track every single gun owner and how much ammo they possess. And that we think that's absolutely mind-bogglingly insane and tyrannical. And we're convinced that Shawn Almeranti-Crosby would be a yes vote on this legislation. Again, it's moving in neighboring Illinois. And we have to stop that stuff here in Michigan. And the next one is the magazine ban. They want to ban, they call them high cap mags. They're not high capacity magazines. These are standard capacity magazines, but they want to do away with 30 round magazines. They want to do away with 20 round magazines. And they even want to do away with 10 round magazines, which is what virtually every semi-automatic pistol in the country uses. And they want to reduce us to either 7 round magazines, which would by default make many pistols illegal to own, and they want to set us back to revolvers and the good old 60s and 70s days. And everybody who shoots those guns knows that they're far less easy to handle, far less safe than a modern pistol. But the left doesn't care. They simply want these laws on the books. And that's why Shawn would be an enemy of the Second Amendment at the Capitol if she made it there. That's the information we have on your two candidates. All I ask, again, is that when you go to the polls, whether it's on the day of or if you do early voting, which a lot of people are encouraging these days, I ask that you go and vote pro-gun, because Shawn Almeranti-Crosby gets an F rating from the Michigan Firearms Association for her bad stance on the issue of freedom, the issue of the Second Amendment. So you guys get out there, vote pro-gun. Let's take our state back, save our Second Amendment.